Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge System and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy, which is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for UPSC CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level and CLAT examinations. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Thumala, and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I take up international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session is the DNA, that is the daily news analysis of the Hindu newspaper of today's, that is of 16th January 2021. And throughout the session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the newspaper. And these keywords and the key phrases will make you identify the factual, analytical, and conceptual questions which will be very, very useful for the preliminary examination. And while you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, that is for the mains examination, your answers would be precise and concise, and thereby you will score higher marks in the mains examination. And this session, that is AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, will help you to crack prelims and mains examination of 2021. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, we will focus at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day says that if you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. So what is important is that you need to keep going. You need to make sure that you do things or small things in a great way, and that itself will make you get into the mode of doing great things. And now we'll get into the DNA of the Hindu newspaper, and the news for the day is that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will flag off today the first phase of the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive, which would be the world's largest vaccination program. So this is the key phrase, that the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive, which would be flagged off by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and in the first phase would be the world's largest vaccination program, and it would be flagged off today, that is January 16, 2021. And this vaccination program will begin at various sites, that is at 3006 session sites across the states and union territories in India. And there would be a dedicated call center, that is 24 by 7 call center, which is the number, the call center is 1075. And this dedicated 24 by 7 call center has been set up to address the queries related to the pandemic and the queries related to the vaccine rollout, so that they would be addressing all the issues and the queries related to the popping of pandemic and vaccine rollout issues. And the during the first phase of the world's largest vaccination program, the health workers who are both in government and private sectors, so along with the health workers both in the government and private sectors, the one who are the health workers who are part of the integrated child development services workers will receive the vaccination in the first phase. So the health workers both in the government and the private sectors, including the integrated child development services workers, will receive the vaccine or will be administered the COVID-19 vaccine in the first phase. And the health ministry has come up with a communication, and the communication states that persons with immunodeficiency, persons with HIV, and the patients on immunosuppression who would be administered the COVID-19 vaccine, there the response of the COVID-19 vaccination may be less in the individuals whose or the persons who would be administered the vaccine in immunodeficiency, HIV, and patients on immunosuppressions. And the health ministry has also come up with various guidelines that who should not be administered and who are permitted. So who should not be vaccinated or administered vaccine is those aged 18 or below, and pregnant and lactating women, and the people who have a history of allergic reaction to the COVID-19 vaccine, should not be vaccinated. And as per the health ministry, who are permitted apart from the general population to be administered the COVID-19 vaccine is people with a history of COVID-19 infection can be permitted to take up the vaccination, and those with a history of chronic disease and comorbidities can administer vaccine, and the people who have immunodeficiency or HIV or patients on immunosuppression drugs can be permitted apart from the general population. But the response of the COVID-19 vaccination will or may be less than the other individuals. And this is the statement or the communication made by the vaccination or by the health ministry in regards to the vaccination. And this information is useful because it is a nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive, and which is the world's largest vaccination program. Here the key phrase is the country's or India's first phase nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive is the world's largest vaccination program with a dedicated call center of the number 1075. And Union Health Ministry has also reviewed a CoWIN system, and this CoWIN system is the online digital platform, and this CoWIN, which is the online digital platform, will be used by the health ministry in regards to the nationwide vaccination drive program, which is the world's largest vaccination program. And the COVID platform or CoWIN platform will facilitate a real-time information of the vaccine stocks during the nationwide vaccination program or the drive, and it will also facilitate storage temperature of the vaccine, and it will also facilitate individualized tracking of beneficiaries for the COVID-19 vaccine. And the online digital platform will also assist the program managers who are across the nation or national wide, statewide, and at district levels while they are conducting the vaccination sessions. So here the keyword is the CoWIN system or CoWIN digital platform, which is the keyword which you need to focus, that it will be an useful information for the prelims of UPSC perspective and other competitive exam, that the Union Health Ministry, which is looking or which is actually taking up the system or the entire drive of the nationwide vaccination through the CoWIN system, that is through the online digital platform called as CoWIN. So it facilitates real-time information. It also facilitates the storage temperature of the vaccine. It facilitates individualized tracking of beneficiaries, and it will also assist the program managers across the nation, state and district levels. So this is a crucial information, which the drive is the world's largest vaccination program, and the digital platform which is used or online digital platform which is used is CoWIN system, which can be taken into consideration that it will be useful for the prelims as well as mains examination. And now we will look at the another information which talks about the phase 3 trial of the vaccine by which is called a Sputnik from Russia, and DCGI, that is Drugs Controller General of India, has approved Dr. Reddy's Laboratories to conduct phase 3 clinical trials of Russia's COVID-19 vaccine candidate called as Sputnik V in India. And this phase 3 trial for Sputnik 5 in India will be conducted on 1500 subjects, which would be, the trial would be as part of the randomized trial, double blind trial, parallel group trial, phase 3 trial, clinical trials, and then placebo controlled study in India. So the importance of the phase 3 clinical trial of the COVID-19 vaccine candidate of Russia, which is Sputnik 5, would be on 1,500 subjects as part of randomized, double-blind, parallel group and placebo-controlled study in India. And this has been approved by the Drugs Controller General of India, which has given approval to the Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. And Dr. Reddy and RDIF, that is Russian Direct Investment Fund, has announced a partnership for Sputnik 5 phase 3 trial to be taken up in India, which partnership has been taken up or has been announced in September 2020, and they both, that is Dr. Reddy's and Russian Direct Investment Fund, has its clinical trials and also its distribution rights, which have been partnered between Dr. Reddy's and Russia's Direct Investment Fund. And now we will look into the another news of the newspaper, wherein there are boundary issues between India and Nepal Nepal Foreign Minister Pradeep Kumar Gyawali, while he was taking up the Joint Commission meeting and addressing the gathering of the Indian Council of World Affairs, have raised the Kalapani boundary dispute with India. And the Foreign Minister of Nepal, Pradeep Kumar, has made it very clear that the boundary dispute between India and Nepal existed in two segments, and he also wished that the boundary dispute between India and Nepal would certainly come up with a solution, and this solution would be at an urgent pace. And Gyawali also took up Nepal's requirement of vaccine to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic in Kathmandu, wherein the Nepal government has approved the Serum Institute of India, which is based in Pune, the vaccine of the SII, that is Serum Institute of India, which has been approved by Nepal, is Covishield vaccine. So certainly the Foreign Minister has raised the issue during the Joint Commission meeting while addressing the Indian Council of World Affairs in regards to the Nepal or boundary disputes between India and Nepal, and also in regards to the Nepal's requirement for vaccine, that is Covishield vaccine. And now we will look at the boundary dispute between India and Nepal. So there is demarcation and mapping of the boundary between India and Nepal since 1981, and when there was a demarcation and mapping of the boundary in 1981, both the countries have found a joint technical committee, and this joint technical committee, which was founded since or during the 1981 at the demarcation and mapping of the boundary between India and Nepal, it has the tenure till 2007, and it has lapsed. And then the Joint Technical Committee has produced, or it has come up with 182 strip maps along India and Nepal, which demarcates the boundary between India and Nepal. But two segments which were not completed in the 182 strip maps, which has demarcated and mapped the India-Nepal border, is one is Susta area and Kalapani areas, are the one which have not been completed by the Joint Technical Committee, and this is the boundary dispute between India and Nepal. The two which were not completed in the 182 strip maps between India and Nepal is Susta and Kalapani. And India has gone ahead with the launching of the route from Darchula to Kailash or Mount Kailash or Lake Manasarovar, which is the route which has been taken up in the Pitrugarh district from Darchula to the Lipu Lake, which connects the Manasarovar or Mount Kailash or Lake Manasarovar. So while we have gone ahead with laying out the foundation of the route from Darchula to Lipu Lake, this route has been passing through the Kalapani. So when it was passing through the Kalapani, which is a disputed territory between India and Nepal, then Nepal has raised the issue, how can India go ahead with infrastructure development or the road construction from Dachula to Lipulek, which is passing Kalapani, which is a disputed territory, and how India can unilaterally take the decision that a road be passed through the Kalapani. And in turn, India has shown in its new political map in November 2019 as Kalapani as part of the Pithogarh district of Uttarakhand, or Pithogarh area, Pithogarh district of Uttarakhand state. So then Nepal has come up or unveiled a new political map which has showed Kalapani, Lipulek and Limpuyadura region of Pithogarh district of its sovereign territory. That means when we have gone ahead with the construction of the road from Dachula to Lipulek connecting Kalapani, which India has taken an unilateral decision to make sure that Kalapani is part of the new area of the new political map of India, passing through the Pithogarh district of Uttarakhand state. Then Nepal has unveiled a new political map linking Limpuyadura and then Kalapani and Lipulek Pass as part of Nepal. So here the issue is, the border issue is the Kalapani, and now the issue has to be dealt between India and Nepal. Thereby, the foreign minister of Nepal has come to India, and there are discussions which are going on that the border issue between India and Nepal would be resolved. So we have looked at from 1981, and then the Joint Technical Committee which has resolved all the strips, which out of 182 only 2 were not completed, that is Susta and Kalapani. And later on Nepal has also unveiled a new political map in response to India's new political map, which wherein India has added or included Kalapani as part of the Pithogarh district of Uttarakhand state. So that again in turn Kalapani, Limpuyadura and Lipulek were added as area claimed by Nepal, and that is the now the bone of contention between India and Nepal in regards to the land boundary disputes. And after the meeting, a statement was issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs of Nepal, which has said that boundary and border management. Look at here, this keyword is very crucial. You have boundary and border management. Boundary and border management was part of the discussion. This was a statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs by Nepal. But in contrast, a statement was issued by India's Ministry of External Affairs saying that border management was part of the discussion. So, as per India, there was no boundary discussion between India and Nepal. But the statement made by Nepal's foreign minister says that boundary and border management were part of the discussion, but India Ministry of External Affairs makes it very clear only border management was part of the discussion between India and Nepal. And the statement from Nepal said that both the countries have discussed the review of the Peace and Friendship Treaty of 1950. So we have also discussed about in the past the Friendship Treaty of 1950, which is the base for coordination and the bilateral relations between India and Nepal. And in turn, both the countries have discussed to review, look at it, to review, this is a keyword, to review the Peace and Friendship Treaty of 1950. And this reviewing of the Peace and Friendship Treaty of 1950 was recommended by Eminent Persons Group, that is EPG, which was constituted by India's Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi and the Nepal's Prime Minister Mr. KP Sharma Oli in the year 2016. So the review of the Peace and Friendship Treaty of 1950 was recommended by the Eminent Persons Group constituted by India and Nepal in 2016. And this EPG report, which has been completed but still it is yet to be submitted to the Indian Prime Minister. So we are focused at the land boundary issues which or between India and Nepal, which is the foremost bone of contention, is Kalapani. And we have looked at from 1981 the demarcation and mapping, and then forming of the Joint Technical Committee in the which was formed, and its tenure was 2000 till 2007. And we have also focused on the new political map of India and the new political map of Nepal, and then the statements made by Nepal's foreign minister or ministry, boundary and border managements, and India says only border management. And we have also focused at the review of the Peace and Friendship Treaty of 1950, which was recommended by both India and Nepal in the year 2016, but the report is still not been submitted to the Indian Prime Minister. So here the border issue is certainly an issue which has to be resolved between India and Nepal, which was discussed at the Joint Commission meeting. And Nepal's Prime Minister has said that, along with the Nepal Foreign Minister, that the issue has to be come up with a solution, and it is a matter of urgency and need of the hour, while he was addressing a gathering at the Indian Council of World Affairs. And there is another news which is in regards to the again US and China. So definitely we know that US-China trade war is still prolonging, and the US government has blacklisted China's smartphone maker, that is Xiaomi Corp, and it has also blacklisted the China's third largest national oil company. So along with the smartphone maker, US government has blacklisted China's national oil company, because US government allege that these two companies, that is smartphone maker and the China's national oil company, have the military links. So US is alleging that these two companies have military links, and the Department of Defense of US, along with the Xiaomi Corp and National Oil Company, they have also added 9 companies to the blacklisted, that they also have the military links. And along with that, we have seen the state-owned plane manufacturing Commercial Aircraft Corp of China, that is COMAC, along with the smartphone maker Xiaomi, National Oil Company, and then the state-owned, that is China's state-owned plane manufacturer, that is Commercial Aircraft Corp of China, is also under or added under the blacklisted Chinese companies, which US government is alleging that these companies have military links, that is with the China's military links. And we have seen that Xiaomi Corp have overtaken Apple Incorporation as the world's number 3 smartphone in regards to the sales in the third quarter of 2020. And this information of the data is as per the Gartner. So definitely the trade war is still in progress, and it is making sure that US government, by blacklisting the Chinese Xiaomi, National Oil Company, state-owned plane manufacturing, Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China, are definitely part of the 60 Chinese companies which US has blacklisted them in the month of December 2020. So along with the one which we have focused, is the one which is also under the blacklist since December, is the drone maker DJI, and the semiconductor firm of China SMIC is also added along with the 60 Chinese companies which are under blacklisted. And the Commerce Department of US has also put another oil corporation, that is China National Offshore Oil Corporation, which is called as CNOOC, under the entity list, that is under the economic blacklist. That means now the China National Offshore Oil Corporation cannot go ahead with exporting or transferring technologies with various other companies until unless it has the provision or approval by the US Commerce Department. So this China National Offshore Oil Corporation is under the economic blacklist, and it forbids US firms from exporting or transferring technologies to the China National Offshore Oil Corporation. So certainly none of the US firms can go ahead with exporting or transferring technologies to the China National Offshore Oil Corporation until unless US Commerce Department gives the approval. And this CNOOC, which is China National Offshore Oil Corp, is involved in offshore drilling, especially in the disputed waters of South China Sea, wherein China has, or it is claiming, overlapping territorial claims with other countries. That is, with it has the territorial disputes, and China claims, and it is going ahead, or it is involved in the offshore drilling in the disputed waters of South China Sea, and it has a territorial claims or disputes with Vietnam, Philippines, Brunei, Taiwan, and Malaysia. So here the keywords what we have focused is the CNOOC and DJI, the company, SMIC, and the National Oil Company, the smartphone maker Xiaomi Corp, and then the Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China, COMAC. All these are now under blacklisted. That means still there is a heightened pace of trade war between US and China. And there is another news which talks about UAV, which the Indian Army has signed 20 million contract with IdeaForge. So Indian Army has signed a contract with IdeaForge for UAV, that is unmanned aerial vehicle. And this unmanned area vehicle technology by the IdeaForge, it goes ahead with procuring an high altitude variant of Switch UAV. So Indian Army, which is or which has signed a 20 million contract with IdeaForge for the high altitude variant of Switch unmanned aerial vehicle, is an indigenous system. This is a keyword here. Self-reliant or Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme. And this Switch UAV of high altitude variant of unmanned aerial vehicle is used in surveillance operation by the Indian Army. And this Switch UAV is an indigenous system, and it will cater to the most demanding of the Indian forces, especially for the surveillance operation. And if you look at the Switch UAV, it has a fixed wing vertical takeoff and landing, and this vertical takeoff and landing of unmanned aerial vehicle of Switch UAV can be deployed at a high altitudes and under harsh environments during the day and night surveillance. That is why it is a demanding surveillance operation by the Indian forces, and it is an indigenous system which is Make in India or Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme, which is used in the surveillance operation. So if you look at this, is the vertical takeoff and landing of the UAV wings. This is UAV, Switch UAV, and this is all-terrain dominator, and its operational range is up to 15 kilometers, and flight time is close to or less than 120 minutes, and the takeoff weight of the Switch UAE is 6.5 kgs, and that is why it is a demanding surveillance operation which can be deployed at an high altitudes and under harsh environments even during day and nights. So this is an indigenous system, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme, used in the surveillance operation. So the one which has got the contract or backed the contract of 20 million by the Indian Army is Idea Forge. So this is very important information for the internal security, which wherein Indian defense we are focusing from Atmanirbhar or self-reliant concept, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme. So we have looked at from various perspective of prelims of UPSC in regards to the UAV, that is switch UAV, which is indigenous system which can be deployed at a high altitude and under harsh environments. And now we will recapitulate the DNA. We have looked at the world's largest vaccination program, which will begin on January 16th, that is today, the first phase. And this is part of the health. And we have also looked at who can be administered and who cannot be administered the Covaxin. And the Drug Controller General of India has also gone ahead with giving a nod for the phase 3 clinical trial of Sputnik 5 with the Reddy Laboratories. And we have looked at from international relations, that is India-Nepal border issues, which are certainly at a progressive stage, which can be resolved between India and Nepal in regards to the Kalapani and Susta areas. These are the two segments which are not yet completed with the technical board. And we have looked at this in regards to the US-China trade war. How still there is mounting pressure by US onto the China, and it has blacklisted various companies. And we have this looked at the unmanned aerial vehicle, which is Switch UAV, as part of the self-reliant or Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme, which is indigenous system of the Switch UAV, which Idea Forge has backed the contract of 20 million deal by the Indian Army. And this is part of, again, internal security, defense. So I hope this session was certainly an informative, knowledgeable session, which we have focused from UPSC prelims and mains perspective. And I would say a very big thank you to all and a good luck to you all. Do maintain consistency, stick to your schedule, and take care of your physical health and mental health. And do not forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy English Medium YouTube channel, and also have access to the website, and do sign in to the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is Advanced Knowledge System. And then see you again tomorrow with the daily news analysis. Till then, thank you and then goodbye. Take care.